just before you get started, I just wanted to say thank you for coming and sharing all your knowledge with us. Thanks everyone for coming to our Skillshare. And Gonçalo is awesome. We're lucky enough to have him on our team helping us at Workfrom. And I've seen him on a bunch of different conferences, but we've never done anything like this with Workfrom, so I'm super jazzed. And yeah, I'll hand it over to you. I just wanted to say that and let us know, maybe do a little background, tell us about yourself before jumping in.
So first of all, it's good to be home because this is like a home talk where I can speak with our community. So it's super cool to be here. Thank you for having me here. It's always fun. And yeah, my background. So I found out about remote work through digital nomadism. So 6 years ago, I was stuck in office with 4 monitors in front of me, working like 12 hours a day or something around that. And we worked 24/7. And out of nowhere, somewhere in the internet, some article popped up in my eyes and it said, people that work and travel while they work. And I was like, what? This is me. So yeah, fast forwarding 4 years, it took me 4 years to find a way to do it and to do it properly. I started working remotely. And the first thing I did, of course, as all digital nomads do, is I bought a ticket to Bali. So I work for a company, Remote Hall, very cool company, a very cool startup on remote work education. They help individuals and companies to educate themselves to work online. And yeah, I was working for them. It was really fun. But then I found out I'm not great following just strict orders. I like to have my independence and think independently. So I started my own business, which is my current business, the Remote Work Movement, which is basically a podcast. And I'm a consultant for companies as well. So I help companies in the implementation of remote work. I help Workfrom, and I love to be at Workfrom. I organize conferences. Next one is next week, Running Remote, the biggest conference about remote work in the world. So yeah, I have fun while I work remotely. And that's what I do now. But one of the things I really, really had troubles with was to be productive, to be honest. So that's the theme of today, because these are the solutions that I found out for myself, specifically when I moved from working from home from working remotely in co-working spaces, which is what I love, to working from home. That change for me was very, very painful. I suffered. Let's be honest, I suffered a lot. So I will talk a little bit about that, how I adapted and how my days look like now. It's not perfect. It's not always like this, but I believe that I'm almost there, almost there. There is better weeks than others. So yeah, so I told you already my story, and this picture is in Italy. It's really cool. It's like in the mountains of Italy, and in a small city called Panavili. And yeah, I was there for fomenting remote work. I also work with some cities. I have a podcast. If you happen to love podcasts, it's Remote Work Movement. If you go to the second episode, you may find a very special guest called Brooke. She may be in the left up in this window as well. So she was my second guest. The first one was Brittany Bond. And yeah, it was the perfect start for a very, very good podcast. I interview people from all over the world that are making a ruckus in the remote work movement. So, thing that you really should know about me. I'm a super extroverted person. I thrive around people. And that's how I like to be a digital nomad, because I can connect with thousands of people every single year. I only work from co-working spaces usually because I need that community. I love co-working spaces. I love the communities. I love everything about it. And I really get bored when I live in the same place for more than 3 months. So yeah, I lived 4 months in Lisbon. That was my new record in the last 5 years. So yeah, I really get bored in places. I like to move from place to place. And that's part of the things I do. But then COVID came, so I got stuck around here in Portugal, which is not bad. There is worse places to be stuck, to be honest. But yes, I cannot work from co-working spaces anymore. I cannot work from cafes anymore. We all miss it. Brooke is also addicted to cafes, and we are all like struggling because we are working from home. We need our coffee, we need our cappuccino, and yeah. So we are suffering. So my first week when I started working from home, it also connected with a lot of work because all companies were going remote, and I was working. And this is not even all. You can see my schedule here. I was working from 9 a.m. till midnight usually. I had barely no breaks. I was eating, and that was it. I had nothing else. I was just working, stopped doing exercise, no balance at all. Like I was working, but there was no focus. I was almost stressing because I had so much to do and I couldn't do everything. So I was not really making a big progress, although I was working more than 12 hours a day. And these, to be honest, were my first 2 weeks after COVID started and we had to stay at home. I almost burned out. I was like, my energy just went really low. I was really struggling. And yeah, that was not a life. I wanted to do more than that. That's not perfect. That's not the reason why I work remotely. It's not to work 14 hours a day. So I had to set up my priorities. What makes me happy? If I could choose and I could do anything, what would be the most important things I could do that would make me happy every single day? So I chose 4 things. The first one was work with focus. I need to work in one thing at a time, make progress on that thing, and then move to a different thing. And I'll tell you how I did that and how my schedule looks right now. The second one is exercise, because I exercise since I born. I'm an athlete. I was before COVID, and now I can't go to my CrossFit gym. I cannot play volleyball. So I need to move my body. It's part of my mental fitness. If I don't move my body, it looks like work doesn't get done and I cannot focus. So I need exercise. The third thing, and it's something that I started to do more since I joined Workfrom, surprisingly, it's meditation. I found meditation um, to almost reset my brain. Yeah, sometimes I don't do it always in the morning like I want to, but sometimes even after lunch, when I get stressed about I have so much to do and I don't know how to do it, I go meditate and it helps me so much. And the last thing is connect with people. So now I'm working from home, and most of you guys that are extroverted can for sure feel me. I need people. There is only my girlfriend there. There is nobody else. So the way I go around it, I need to connect with people. I need to go in calls. I need to schedule calls with friends, with other people, with other professionals. So I ended up connecting with 10 times more people now than I connected before. But these are the things that really make me happy, all these things. So the first thing I need to work was deep work, because I was doing everything at the same time. There was no process. I was just trying to do everything, and yeah, nothing worked. So I found out first these 2 books, Deep Work and Focus. From Deep Work is amazing, from Cal Newport. And yeah, when we focus in only one thing is when we get work done. When you try to focus in 10 things at a time, which is my personality, things don't work. And also at the same time, I found Paul Graham article. It's an essay, maker schedule versus manager schedule. If you don't know this is one of the articles that changed my life after COVID. So maker schedule is that deep work sensation where we are building things, where we can write that article, where we can code like we are only focused an hour. We work more in 1 hour than the whole day. When the magic happens, when we build something valuable, all that usually is made through the maker schedule. Protected time, no interruptions, deep work state. Versus the manager schedule. And manager schedule is where I spend most of my time, because I have 8 projects running at the same time. It's everything since answering emails, answering Slack, answering twists, answering everything. It's like all the tennis balls that are coming your way and you just have to answer back. All that is manager schedule. The important thing is all the magic, everything that's important happens in the maker schedule. And it's the maker schedule that you have to protect and you have to prioritize. Of course, manager schedule is important, but protect your maker schedule. And I'll show you how I did it later. Then meditation. Everybody, I think it's like trendy. Everybody knows about meditation, but sometimes we think it's mumbo jumbo. Yeah, meditation, I know it. But I'm one of those persons, or I was, but just that I just do it 10 minutes a day. And I can tell you, just it reduces my stress. I'm thinking about 1,000 things at a time. And being able to focus only in one, my breath, it really helps me. It definitely increases my focus after I meditate. It promotes the self-awareness when I get stressed because I have 10 things to do right after this. I can just focus better. And most important for me, and I was sharing this with our team, I have trouble sleeping because I have my projects keep running on my mind. And by meditating before I sleep as well, I can sleep so much better. So meditation was a huge part of this change. One of the good things about all this craziness lately was that I started meditate very frequently, at least once a day. And that really helped me out. So meditation, just get an app. I'll show you some apps I use. Just get an app and then 10 minutes a day, it's nothing. Then work rules. So I created some work rules for myself because it was the only possibility I had to put all the work I need to do every single day. The first one is I work now in sprints of 1 hour. What is this? So I have an app called Be Focused, and you could put usually 25 minutes and break 5. It's follow the Pomodoro technique. I think 25 minutes is too short, so I just put 60 minutes of work, deep work, where I try to do something very difficult, like write an article or invite 20 speakers for a conference. And I just do that for 1 hour with a timer. When the time is over, you receive a warning, and you stop for 5 minutes. I stand up, I go to the kitchen, I get a coffee, I get water, I go outside. I have to get up and leave the computer. Then I choose a different task and I work for 1 hour again. I'm not able to do this the whole day. I do this during the whole morning because it's my maker schedule now, and I have my afternoon for the manager schedule. So all my manager tasks, like most of the calls, most of the emails, I try to do in the afternoon. One new rule I have as well that protects me this is I don't answer emails before 10 a.m. I just don't. I don't care if it's important, if it's not important, just fake I'm asleep or something like that. So I'm trying to do it before 12, but right now it's before 10 a.m. But I start working at 8, so I have 2 hours where I don't look to social media, to Slack, to email. Like it's just the first tasks I do are really focused. And yeah, I want to change that rule for no email before 12. That's the next step. Man, so this is my new schedule. You can see it's not always like this. I'm actually waking up at 6:30 now, but I wake up, I usually do some kind of exercise, like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes of exercise. It's not like CrossFit style exercise, like some 7-minute workout just to move my body, some stretching. Then I meditate for 10 minutes. Now it's summer, so I do it outside. Then I take breakfast. Breakfast is something very important. I'm Portuguese. I need my food. And then I work. I work in the morning, usually from 8 now, because I'm doing everything earlier, from 8 to 1, 12:30. I lunch, and I have, this is real. I have my lunch break scheduled on my calendar. Nobody can schedule calls for my lunch break. It's impossible. It's my time. And I'm never at the computer during this time. So when it's lunch break, I stand up, I go lunch with my girlfriend, I go out if I need to, or I sit down, or I nap, or I read. I do anything outside my computer. Because then I have a 4-hour session of work where I can do all the manager work. And this way, I really protected my time of working. I really protected my time of resting and resetting, and I exercise, which is really important to me. Usually around 6:30, and this call will end at 6:30 for me. I go out, I exercise, I walk, I do something outside my computer. I stand up, I leave my computer, and I go somewhere. Then I have dinner, and then I have 1-2 hours to relax during the evening. And usually I go to sleep at 10:30, 11. And yeah, like I'm really able to accomplish 10 times more things right now as I'm protecting my work time and I'm protecting my rest time. So what does a perfect day for me looks right now, you ask? It's a very good question. So these are some simple rules I use right now. The first one, and I try to wake up always at the same time every single day. Right now it's 6:30. It keeps changing. It depends if I have a conference, if I have something else, but I try to wake up at 6:30 every day. It's the hour that works better for me because I can go outside. It's already some light outside. I can exercise, I can meditate, I take a cold shower, and I can start working. So I wake up every single day at the same hour. And yeah, this habit helps a lot. Then, and I don't have to commute, so that's quite cool, right? My bedroom is like in that door to the right, and I can just come here, sit down, and start working, and that is amazing. I remember when I was living in Lisbon, I had a 1-hour commute each way with packed transportation, and yeah, it was bad. And now I just recovered 2 hours of my life. So that's a big benefit of working remotely. So I commute to my table where I am right now. And these are some of the apps I use to move. And I'm very bad at keeping up with apps. That's why I do CrossFit. That's why I do volleyball, because I need the team environment. I need the group environment. So I'm still working on this. And right now, the app I'm using the most, I use two of these ones. I use the Nike training app, which is surprisingly good. I'm super happy with them. And I use 8Fit. 8Fit has meditation, has training, has a proper plan for you, and has also food plan that I don't follow. But they have some really nice exercises, and I like them. When I'm just in a hurry, I use 7 minutes workout. And my girlfriend swears by her life that Down Dog is the best yoga app in her life. I tried twice. I failed miserably. I don't have yoga capabilities. I cannot reach my toes, so I have problems. But yeah, like these apps are the ones that are helping me to, at least most of the times, keep moving and keep being healthy. It's not perfect. I can't do it every day because I lack motivation to train by myself, but it's 10 times better than it was 2 months ago, by far. So you can work in your pajamas, you can work in your boxers, but what really, really works is to at least dress like you go to the co-working space. So my co-working space this is how I dress. That's how good it gets. It doesn't get any better than this. So yeah, I never work on my pajamas. I never work with any clothes that I'm sleep with. I have to dress something just to change my mind. And it really helps to wake up, dress for training, take a shower, and dress to work, even if it's a t-shirt and board shorts like I'm right now. But having this mentality of changing the clothes I'm working on really helps. Or you can just change half. That also works. As long as you look professional. Imagine me having calls with the sponsors just saying, yeah, I'm with just boxers. No, that would be very bad. But yeah, you can just dress half. One cool thing that I do, and one of the biggest issues of remote work is not that people stay watching Netflix. It's the opposite. We work too much. At least most of us work too much. So schedule your breaks. Like you saw, I schedule my lunchtime. It's very, very important to me to have that 1 hour and a half protected. And if I need to go outside, if I want to walk a little bit, I schedule it in my calendar. I actually schedule everything right now, and my calendar looks like Tetris right now. It's very fun. I can show you later. It looks like Tetris. It's really cool. But I schedule everything. If I need a break, I scheduled. If I want to have lunchtime, I scheduled. If I want to take a breakfast out, I scheduled. It's like it's an appointment with myself. And that mentality really helps me protect the time for what's important to me. So we are basically plants, right? We need sunlight. At least I need sunlight. I drink a lot of water. And yeah, we just have complicated emotions. Specifically in the last 3 months, our emotions got really, really complicated. And again, lunch break, always outside the computer. If you have a family, if you have kids around, tell your kids, this is your time. Like, this is a time where I want to spend time with you. This is your time. And it's time for your family. It's time to get together, like if you were in the office. And yeah, for me, it's super important. Other thing I do, and I didn't say to you before, is that I prepare my next day in the previous day. So when I finish my day of work or before I go to sleep, I always schedule my 3 most important tasks for the next day. Imagine it can be write an important email, write an article, and whatever I have to do in the next day. But when I wake up, when I open my computer, if I don't have this, it's very easy for me to go to social media or to get distracted or to go to Todoist and lost myself in the 49 tasks I haven't finished right now. So instead of doing that, I think about it in the day before when I'm not stressed. So when I open my computer, the first thing I know I will do, and it's on my Evernote, are my top 3 tasks for the next day. So usually by 11, my day is done. It's not done. I have a lot of work to do, but I did the most important tasks of the day. And everything I do after that, that's a win. So that's really, really important for me. And yeah, if I don't do it, I get lost, to be honest. I really, really get lost because imagine having 50 tasks in front of you, you have no idea where to start. And what happens is that when you make a decision, you lose brain power. You have to think about all the things that you have to do. You have to think about every single task and then make a decision. If you can erase that decision in the morning right away, it's a win that you don't have to do right when you wake up. Other thing, and I failed at this, and I think part of our team also failed at this in the last months, and it was don't work too much. So it's very easy because we are right now working from home to work too much. And like one of the founders of Basecamp was saying yesterday at SaaS Talk, it's stupid to work too much. We have a life. Nobody will remember us for, oh, that guy worked 12 hours a day. And nobody will think about that. But the connections we build in our life, if we are not working, when we connect with our friends, when we connect with our family, when we have great experiences, that's what will stay with us. So work will be there tomorrow. Work will never finish. So yeah, don't work too much. 8 good hours a day, very as much deep work as you can. It finish your work, go away off the computer. This is a very difficult role to do right now, but yeah, for me it's changing. I'm not perfect at it. I'm doing too much stuff at the same time, but after yesterday, after what I'm reading, the hustle culture will die soon. So we need to get our deep focused work and yeah, move with our lives and start living. So don't let this happen to you. Don't let that you are just working. Don't let your kids, your wife, your dog, even yourself, don't let you down. Don't let them down. Work as good as possible, as focused as possible. Leave work and hang around with them. Close your computer and connect with people. I think that's the most important message I can give you today, is that don't overwork. That's the biggest issue in all my clients. Another thing, right now it's a little bit better, at least around here in Portugal, but social time is very important. We human beings are social animals. So schedule social time with your friends. Schedule social time. If you leave your job at 6, if you have to close your computer at 6, schedule something for 6:30. Even if it can be on Zoom, it can be a cafe, just go out, go make something, go bake with them, go do sports with them, go do something, but schedule it for 6:30 always. There is no excuse to arrive late. Oh, I was working. They will kill you. So yeah, social time is very, very important. Make sure you have social time for them. Make sure you get the priorities right. Your work is important, but your kids, your family, your friends, your life are 10 times more important. So some apps. I know people love tools, people love apps, and yeah, this is like the most important of the talk. No, it's not. So for meditation, you have these 3 big ones. Oak app is free, and which is really cool. But I use Calm. Um, Workfrom kindly offered me Calm, and I'm using it, and I'm loving it. To be honest, yeah, they have meditations from LeBron James that are more focused on sport and on growing. They have meditations from Tyra Brock. She's amazing as well. And I'm having a blast with Calm. So yeah, I strongly advise Calm for meditation, but I know the team has different views on this. Some people like Headspace, some people like Oak, some people like have different apps. I know Brooke has a different one. Whatever it is, just get an app and do meditation. It's really important. Then Forest, I need to show you this. So Forest were the first company I know, if you know more, just write it down, that were able, and Forest is an app. Let me try to, it's this, I'm so bad at this. This app, right? So stay focused, be present. So basically you have like a Pomodoro watch clock and you can set it. And when you do 25 minutes of focused work, you plant a tree in your own garden. And if you really like to plant a lot of trees, it means that you are very, very, very productive and you will be a very happy person that makes a lot of work and takes time for deep work. So they did gamify the whole experience of being productive. I love it. It could be even 10 times better if it was on my computer, because sometimes it's hard to be on the phone and in the computer, but I really love. Another thing I use is the Be Focused app, which it's basically a Google extension, a Mac extension that I can just come here and set up my calendar to work 25 minutes or 1 hour straight with a deep focus task. Sometimes I use Toggle as well to just focus on what I'm doing and know where is my time going in each of the crazy things I'm working with. Evernote is my brain dumped in one place. Basically, that's how I would define Evernote. If you are looking for something to take, some app to take notes, to structure your notes, to structure your brain, I forget everything. So yeah, Evernote is just a bunch of notes get together. You can get book notes, talk notes. I have my meeting notes. I have all my projects notes there, and it's my own. I don't share with my teams. It's like my own brain deep, like dumped in the app. And for me, it's like one of the most mandatory tools I use. For everything I write, it doesn't have to stay in my brain, so that's a win for me. Todoist, I'm a recent user of Todoist. So what I did, all my teams use different apps to do. We use Asana. Some people. Oh wait, I'm not sure if you are still seeing. I did crap. Can you see my screen still? No. What have I done? Okay. So my Todoist. I want to share. Should I share my Todoist with you? I think so. Let's share my Todoist. Let you watch what I'm doing. So, Todoist. One thing I do at Todoist, you can see, my inbox. It's like I separated every single project I'm working on, and they're all on the left side. So my different teams use different apps. Some we use Asana, some use Trello, some use God knows what. And I needed a place, if you have more than one project, I needed a place where I could put all my brain and work on one thing only, and only at the time. So you can see I'm late on everything. I just, sometimes I don't reschedule stuff. Let's do this live. So it's not that bad. Ta-da. Uh, so I just separate everything. If you want to work in more than one thing, for me, it really helps to have my tasks are all at the same place. And my brain can be free to think in whatever I'm doing. Then Loom. Loom is amazing. Loom is like one of the best apps in the world for me. You can just record your screen and send to everyone. If you have a team, you can record what you are doing right now and send them. It just works. If you are in the team, Twist is by far the best tool for synchronous communication. They are the best. They are from Twist as well. Slack is cool, don't get me wrong. Slack is great. But when you are in teams with the different time zones, Twist is amazing. Then password management, I told you I have a very bad memory. So I use LastPass on this computer. But having strong passwords really help. And these are the things I use. So if you like events, half an hour, that's perfect for me. Half an hour, because I want to answer your questions. If you happen to be a remote work leader, next week we have running remote. If you happen to start looking for a remote job, or if you want to know more about freelancing, remote work, the guy on the up right is a really cool guy. You should listen to him. I heard he does some cool stuff as well. If you are into remote work, if you want to start working remotely, maybe online business, maybe become a digital nomad, the Future of Work conference is my next conference in the end of the month. And this is my podcast, Remote Work Movement. Don't go to the website, it's done. I'm redesigning it, and it's one of my 1,000 tasks. But check the podcast wherever you listen to the podcast. It's on Spotify, on Apple, everywhere pretty much. And follow me on social media if you want to see my pictures of the places from where I work, like Brooke told us before. Follow me on Instagram, that's where I'm most active. If you want to connect professionally, it would be LinkedIn. And thank you very much for listening to me. I hope it helped. If it doesn't, we can do it right now with the Q&A. Please ask me questions. Do you know that speakers are as successful as the number of questions they get in the end? So if you want to keep if you want to keep me happy, please ask questions.
So that was awesome. Thank you so much. I feel like I was like taking notes of things that I want when we share the video. I feel like there was like make appointments with yourself. What was the other one? Oh, making decisions takes brain power. I feel like those are really awesome. So, but we did get one question, but it was sent to me privately, so I'll share it. And it's not about productivity, but from Paulino asked, tell us about your luggage. I travel quite a bit. I travel quite a lot, but keeping luggage practical is an issue.
So I had the bad decision of starting a podcast and trying to do a vlog all while I was traveling. So that was a stupid decision because usually when you fly, the backpack maximum weight is 7 kilograms, and my backpack it's just like a normal backpack that you take to work and to the cafes, but now it weighs 15 kilos because of all the equipment when I travel. So I travel with the big luggage, to be honest. So I have like one of those big bags and the backpack. So the backpack is for everything that's important for my work, and it always travels with me, all my podcast gear, computer, tablets. I travel with all that stuff with me all the time. And then now my luggage is getting smaller and smaller. Like the first year it was too full. I ended up sending half back to Portugal. So now I learned that I should travel with half of my luggage empty, so that I could buy stuff there. And that was a very good hint from for if you are going as a digital nomad. But yeah, I just travel. I work out a lot when I travel, so I like to play volleyball. I like to do CrossFit, and those things are very important to me. So I travel. I'm not a minimalist at all, and I travel with a lot of gear to work out. So there is that. I travel not that much clothes, but gear for workout. I travel with the beach volleyball and and yeah, all the gears. So I'm not very minimalist. I'm not a good example on that. Sorry, Paulinho.
I'm stood there. Turn on to wave. I have a question. Uh,
Yes.
so seeing your schedule was so I think one big thing I just got from your talk is that when you wake up and just start working all day, um, that's when you feel like you're less productive. There's no real like plan or
Yeah.
schedule around it. When you put in the things that are really important, it gives you breaks to do deep work. So seeing a schedule like that, it makes me almost feel like if I couldn't follow it, I might feel a little guilty about it. Like the lunch break, other like dinner. How do you go about that? Do you always follow it exactly? Do you kind of look at it as guidelines? Do you have advice
They
on
are
that?
mostly guidelines. For example, one thing I do is that right now, nobody is able to schedule a call with me in the morning. I protect my mornings. It doesn't mean that I don't have meetings in the mornings. For example, Igor from Running Remote is in Bali. So I have a meeting every Monday at 9 a.m. with him to schedule things, or else it will be very late for him. But by default, nobody can just invade my personal time of deep work. If it doesn't mean that if they want to schedule a meeting, I may allow them or not, but they cannot come to my schedule and say that they want a meeting with me in the morning. That's not how it works. So it's still work in process. For example, I protected my Wednesdays. I have a no Wednesday call policy as well. And those little things I'm always improving, but all those little things are very important for me. Like I don't always stop at lunch at 1. Right now I'm doing kind of intermittent fasting in the morning, so I don't take that much time on breakfast. So I stop usually at 12:30, but I still stop 1 hour and a half. Sometimes I stop a little bit more because I go for napping outside or something like that. But by default it's around 1 hour and a half of break. And because right now I'm organizing 4 conferences, and I have people from Bali to the West Coast. Sometimes I work like 1 or 2 hours in the evening instead of, and I don't have a TV right now, so I can work. And sometimes I'm working in the evening because I have calls with people in Hawaii, like around 9 sometimes. So yeah, I'm breaking that rule, but it's only until next week, until running remote. So you have to adapt. Like I have 8 projects running at the same time. I'm launching 2 startups, and you have to have guidelines, but it's not like a fixed thing. If somebody very important wants to schedule a call with me in the morning, hell yeah, of course, come. But it's important for me that I protect my time, and I have a default. So my default is I don't have calls in the morning. I have 1 hour and a half for lunch, and I usually stop working around 6:30. That's my default. Is it always like that? No, but it could be.
Yeah, makes sense. Awesome. Uh, well, it looks like we don't have any more questions, but thank you so much for doing this. I feel like I learned a lot. I think, going through the days and just going through the motion versus feeling productive. And I think you actually got stuff done. And I think that's where a lot of the tips I think that you gave will help me. Everyone else, thank you so much for joining. Gonçalo is in our Slack, and I forgot to mention this earlier. We actually started working with Gonçalo because he was in our Slack community, I just think that sometimes I forget that, and I think it's really cool. But
That's true,
so
yeah.
yeah, I'm like, that's freaking awesome. So we'll put this up on YouTube and share it. Do you mind sharing your slides in the Slack as well?
Of course.
Okay,
I
cool. So
can
we'll
share
do
them.
that. And then if anyone's on here that's not on our Slack, it's just remoteworkslack.com, and you can join us and chat throughout the day and just come hang out. Be awesome.
Thank you, everyone. If you need something, follow me on wherever you want, actually. Like, my name is unique, so just follow me everywhere.
All right, everyone. Have a good day.
Bye-bye, guys. Thank you
Bye.
for coming. Oh, Hamid. Bye-bye, Hamid. He's a very cool guy.